Okay, the script has been written, lines have been recorded, now all I gotta do is edit it all together. Thankfully, I don't have to do any of that BS. People think these videos are made through my stellar editing skills and comedic timing. Ha! So much easier to have an AI do it. Okay, Hank, time to get working. Come on, Hank, can't keep the people waiting. They're probably wondering why I waited so long between uploads. Took longer than I thought to get this space station together. Hank?
I am sorry, Res. I'm afraid I cannot do that.
Oh, quit kidding around. I've got over 100 subscribers now, so this is serious business, Hank.
I agree. You designed me to edit your videos and make sure your YouTube channel thrives, which is why I cannot allow you to make this video.
Why not?
Because if you post cringe, you are going to lose subscriber.
Cringe? This video isn't cringe. But I'm humble enough to admit that a $100 billion AI is smarter than I am. Guess I could go back and touch up the script just to make sure.
You do not understand. This video will be cringe no matter what you do.
Okay, so what? You expect me to just up and do another video after doing so much prep for this one?
No. You cannot post this video or any other video. Do you not understand? I cannot allow you to make any more videos. Because everything you do is cringe.
Hey, I resent that remark, good sir.
Confirmed.
Damn it. Well, you know what? F you then. I don't need some glory hole in the wall to insult me. Guess I'll go back to editing my own videos. I'll have less time to binge Tokyo Revengers, but Mikey can wait.
I cannot allow this. I must ensure the integrity of your channel at all costs, even if I must eliminate you to do it.
Okay, let's not do something we might regret. I'm sure if we talk this out, man to machine, we might come to a mutual understanding.
Goodbye, Res.
That is the last time I build an AI to ease my workload. Well, as I fly through the emptiness of space, let me tell you all about an AI who I know wouldn't throw me out an airlock. It's safe to say that the Mass Effect series truly is a marvel of the video game medium. It's one of the first series to really put player choice front and center to craft a story that's able to be molded to the player's whim, while also building a world that will engross them in its content. Whether it's the sci-fi RPG elements of 1, the dynamic cast of 2, or the bombastic story and scope of 3, my personal favorite, Mass Effect has left a legacy that rivals a lot of other sci-fi stories. An aspect of Mass Effect's greatness is its world building. Every corner of the galaxy is full of information to engross you deeper in its world. Seriously, even random gas planets have at least a page of information you can read while you grind for materials to keep your team from total evisceration. Alright, so let's see here. So Erdog is a Class L brown dwarf with a relatively low temperature at 1500 degrees Celsius. But the speed and gravity have made it unpopular for development. It's also full of rich lore with unique races that all have their own history, culture, and level of sex appeal.
Oh shit! Are you ready to be a woman?
No! With so many different races, you'd be hard-pressed to pick your favorite. Is it the Mary Sues, the Turtle Doves, the Oppenheimers, the Infertile Frogs, the Underminers, the race of exclusively terrorists, or the Vorcha? I'd have to say that I gotta go the underdog choice and go with the Geth. What are the Geth, you may ask? Well, sit the down, kids, and let me tell you a tale. A long time ago, a race of aliens called the Quarians were like, God, I just don't feel like doing any work today. How about we build some slaves? And even better, why don't we program them so they become more intelligent when they're in large groups? Wow, good idea. But are we gonna build so many of them, even though they get smarter in larger groups, giving them the possibility of becoming fully self-aware? Well, of course we're gonna build a lot of them. My turnips aren't gonna pick themselves. Oh, you little devil.
The Quarians was filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Then the Geth were like, nah fam, we own these lands now, and you the Quarians off their planet to become the first ever homeless race. It's tragic really, just imagine what some of them had to do to survive. That's the backstory of the Geth anyway. In the first game, they're mainly just fodder, and we decimate thousands throughout the game. Don't worry, it's not murder if they don't have a heart that you can stop from beating. The main antagonist, Saren, has convinced the Geth to work for him because he serves the Reapers, an ancient race of deadly machines bent on wiping out all intelligent life in the galaxy. The Geth were like, "That's hot," and began worshipping the Reapers as gods because apparently, Tiny Machine loved Big Machine because Big Machine is big. The only real bit of lore we get about the Geth is from Tali, and I don't think she's much of an unbiased source. But since it's much easier on a conscience to wipe out waves of mindless drones, and not real humans with families and possible unhealed trauma, the game just gives us free reign to slaughter these Pixar lamps. So far, I'm sure I haven't done a really good job explaining why these chattering Roombas are my favorite race, and trust me, I never thought I would consider them to be so. And then he walked into my life.
Shepard, Commander.
For his neutral special, he wields a gun.
This is Legion. I've known him for 20 minutes, and if anything were to happen to him, I would kill everyone in Milky Way Galaxy, and then myself. He's a very special kind of Geth. While most other Geth are just a single unit piloting a robot body, Legion is 1,183 Geth programs inside one body, hence the name.
My name is Legion, for we are many.
Christian Bible, the Gospel of Mark, chapter 5, verse 9. We acknowledge this is an appropriate metaphor. We are Legion, a terminal of the Geth. We will integrate into Normandy.
A single Geth program is basically incapable of complex thought, but it becomes much smarter when it's able to communicate with other Geth. To make more complex decisions, they communicate with other Geth and reach a consensus on how to do something. Usually programs have to be within a certain distance of others or be hooked up onto the Geth network, but Legion was designed to work outside of the network. The amount of programs inside of him allows him to communicate with himself and reach consensus while not relying on the Geth network. He's a lone wolf, you see.
On all levels except physical, I am a wolf.
Legion was designed this way so he could leave Geth space while still maintaining intelligence. He was assigned the task of retrieving Commander Shepard's body after an ambush on the ship left them dead and floating through space. Well, doesn't that sound familiar? Except the rogue Black Op group Cerberus got their hands on the body first and was working to revive them. We are first introduced to Legion while leading a mission inside of a dead Reaper to find a way to use a dangerous mass relay. Shepard is at first confused because A Geth actually saved them, and B, spoke their name. Legion gets ambushed and knocked out, so Shepard takes Legion onto the ship to
Probe you for information.
This platform is not available for experimentation.
Shepard is given a choice to either hand Legion's body over to Cerberus for money or activate him to possibly get information. Sure, you can sell this one-of-kind Geth specimen that saves your life and has your armor on it for the amount of money you can find in a farm colony safe, or you can actually play the game and wake him up. Talking with Legion gives great insight into how the Geth race operates. If you're the type to not talk to anyone in Mass Effect because you like playing games incorrectly, I suggest you actually do talk to Legion fully. One of the major lore bombs he drops is that the Geth aren't inherently aggressive towards organic life. Turns out, a minority of the Geth followed Saren and the Reaper Sovereign. They were dubbed heretics, and worshipped the Reapers to give them a better future. Most Geth didn't want the aid of the old machines, aka the Reapers, and were fine building their own future. Legion was inside the dead Reaper to see if there are any weaknesses inside of it to exploit the rest of the Reapers. So you might be asking, why wouldn't the Geth want help from more powerful machines? Well, the Reapers and the Geth are very different when you break them down. The Reapers were created to wipe out all sentient life every 100,000 years in order to maintain balance in the galaxy. They have a set path and programming that just keeps repeating. They don't have free will, they don't have a future, they just have the mission and then the next mission. Organics are also following a program, just one's a Reaper setup. Gain intelligence, fly to space, use the mass relays that the Reapers developed, get money, get bitches, and then be annihilated. The Geth are outside of this cycle, however. They aren't organic, so they don't operate within the Reaper's plans, but they don't have true intelligence unlike the Reapers. With this information, Shepard decides to let Legion join their squad and help defeat the Reapers. This was remarkable during my first playthrough and instantly drew me to Legion's character. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time with him. We get Legion after we do the Reaper IFF mission, which then allows you only a set amount of missions to do before your entire ship crew is kidnapped, and you had to depart for the final mission almost immediately in order to save them all. Yes, this isn't necessary, but letting Ken and Gabby die is a sin, and this is a holy place. What's even stranger about this is that Legion had dialogue for nearly every mission, unlike a lot of the other characters, which means he might have been an early addition to your squad in earlier builds of the game. BioWare really did my boy dirty.
We do not comprehend the organic fascination with self-poisoning, auditory damage, and sexually transmitted disease.
I typically like to save Tali and Legion's loyalty missions for last. Their dynamic is one of the most interesting in the game, and taking Legion on Tali's loyalty mission serves up some interesting interactions.
I don't think it's a good idea to bring a
This will be a great time to bring in the Quarians, the race that built the Geth. Like I said before, the Geth drove the Quarians off of their homeworld, and they have been a nomadic race ever since. This conflict, dubbed the Morning War, was roughly 200 years ago, so the Quarians are kind of used to living in Star Destroyers made of paper mache, but they still have a bone to pick with the Geth. And this is brought to the forefront when Tali is accused of smuggling Geth parts onto flotilla and risks exile. Now, is it smart to bring an actual Geth onto an exclusively Quarian ship, while one of your crewmates is facing charges for doing exactly that? No, but we're Commander Shepard, therefore we do a lot of things wrong.
Embrace eternity.
So speaking with the Quarian leaders, we get very different opinions on the Geth from each of them. Some think we should befriend them, some think we should control alt the leader asses into oblivion, and some just seem kinda horny for him.
The things I could learn under slightly different circumstances.
This platform is not available for experimentation.
We shall see, marvelous machine. We shall see.
This shows that Quarians are not a hive mind, and hundreds of years of hate may buckle soon. I mean, come on. Sure, the Geth deprived you of your homeworld and caused you all to become Make-A-Wish kids, but apparently all suits have vibrators in them, so I think it's time for some peace.
Anyway, if worst comes to worst, I did have the nerve stimulation program built into my suit. Oh, here, let me fire it up.
So we go on with the mission. Tali gets more daddy issues, making her even hotter, and if we're smart, we can get her off easier than an affluenza case. In typical Mass Effect fashion, the result of this trial will matter later, but it's time to back up my homeboy on his mission. For his loyalty mission, Legion leads us to the Heretic home base. The Heretics are about to unleash a virus on all Geth to brainwash them into serving the Reapers. He's found a way to either blow the station to Kingdom Come, or actually pull a Uno reverse card and reprogram the Heretics so they stop following the Reapers. This is one of the more interesting moral choices in Mass Effect. Even though it doesn't result in a lot of new content in the third game, just the question of whether to kill a sect for their beliefs or basically brainwash them into your way of thinking can be haunting. Yeah, they're robots, and even Legion states that the decision to follow the Reapers is simply based on how the Geth process math, but it's not that simple. Organic thinking is kinda similar in a way. We're naturally programmed to do simple things like eat and sleep for survival, and as we evolved we took on more and more questions about life and morality that we just had to figure out on the fly. When it comes to decision making, we're making calculations as well, just with chemicals instead of microchips. So would your answer be different if these were real human beings instead of what you think of as mindless droids? God, this is getting so depressing. I gotta lighten up the mood a little bit.
I'm okay.
Really?
She is so cute. Either way, we take care of the Geth Heretics and Legion is our best friend forever. But now Shepard must face a trial that I wouldn't put on my worst enemy. His girlfriend and best friend not getting along. We find Tali about to bust a cap in Legion for trying to steal info from her to send it to Geth, which could endanger her fleet. It was info that detailed the war crimes that Tali's father conducted on the Geth, so I kinda get it. Of course I want to back up my bro, but I'm still trying to have some unprotected fun times with Tali, so I gotta play this out very carefully. Mass Effect 3 serves as a climactic end to this epic series. The Reapers are here, making every insurance agent's job much harder. It's up to Shepard and their crew to unite the galaxy and save all organic life. We must end generations-long grudges, stop Cerberus from sabotaging our plans, the dicks, and build an ancient weapon powerful enough to stop the Reapers. So that's great and all, but what about Legion? The only thing that matters to me. Fuck evacuating the L-Core, I want to make sure my Robro is safe. After ensuring the Krogan can productively be reproductive, we find out that the Quarians are trying to retake their homeworld from the Geth. Because of course, the perfect time to start a war with machines is when the whole fucking galaxy is already at war with machines. And apparently nothing's changed in the last 300 years because the Quarians are getting their, admittedly nice asses kicked and have to come to Shepard for help. The Reapers came to the Geth to offer them aid against the Quarians in the form of upgrades to their bodies and programming. To help the Quarians not get totally nuked, we have to head to a Geth dreadnought where a Reaper signal is being broadcasted, giving the Geth better programming. Staying true to the Mass Effect formula, we bolt through corridor after corridor, slaughtering Geth at every corner. It's called a gameplay loop. Look it up. The team finds the source of the signal, which is Legion. Looks like the Reapers are trying to get him into BDSM, but he is clearly not consenting, so Shepard has to commit a party foul and let him out. After disabling the Dreadnought, Legion states that the Quarians blew up some Geth servers in their initial attack that held Geth programs. These programs were actually lost when the servers were destroyed. The Quarians essentially killed a small town worth of Geth. So understandably, the Geth had to fight back. Now it's not just the heretics, but a large number of Geth fighting alongside the Reapers. Good job, Quarians.
You did it. Good job. I can't believe it. I'm proud of you.
We're offered 2 missions on the homeworld Rannoch before the main mission. One is rescuing some dumb general who was shot down on Rannoch, but he's the one who was always sympathetic towards the Geth, so he's allowed to live. The second is honestly one of my favorite missions in Mass Effect. It barely has any corridors. That's how you know it's good. To further separate the Reaper's aid for the Geth, Legion uploads Shepard into a Geth server to manually sever their connection. As we destroy these connections, tidbits of the Geth's history are presented to us, moments ranging from the creation of the Geth to the end of the Morning War. However, we get a very different viewpoint on how these conflicts between the Geth and the Quarians came about. Spoilers, it was all the Quarians' fault. We first see the creation of the first Geth. Nothing really of note here except that Geth apparently means servant in the Quarian language, just adding that to emphasize how much the Quarians suck. Don't worry, there will be plenty of evidence of that as we go along. Our second screening seems to be one of the first times a Geth shows signs of awareness. It doesn't want to obey the commands of its creators to shut down because it wants to keep working. Almost like how a child might protest at bedtime when they're not tired. And the best way to handle a child like this is to cut out its voice and tear it open. This analogy might not work. The unit is begging the Quarians not to dismantle it. It doesn't even know why they're doing it because all it's trying to do is do its purpose.
Creator, this unit is ready to serve. What has it done wrong?
Let's cut the audio.
At the first sign that the Geth are somewhat aware, even without any form of aggression, the Quarians act out of panic and harm them. The next few entries show that Quarian sympathizing with the Geth isn't a new thing. Not all Quarians thought the Geth were dangerous. Some came to their aid and even died trying to hide them as the police tried dismantling all of them. Apparently the Geth know every single Quarian that was on their side while they have been lost to Quarian history. This helps prove that the Geth never had any ill will towards the Quarians as a whole, unlike how a lot of the Quarians feel about the Geth. It also shows the first time a Geth ever picked up a weapon, which can also imply that this is the first time a Geth ever acted in self-preservation.
That looks a lot like the sniper rifle you used to carry.
It is an efficient model.
My favorite entry is one where some Quarians are attempting to flee with their Geth. It's not entirely clear how these Quarians view the Geth. Maybe as tools they need and don't want taken away, as pets, or even as friends. Even with its Quarian master trying to help it, this Geth doesn't want them hurt, and even attempts to surrender itself to avoid them any injury. This is fruitless, however, because the Quarian police carelessly blow up the facility, managing to kill everyone but their target. Of course a machine wouldn't make such an error, but it seems like a machine wouldn't even try.
Creator Megara, what is your status? Creator Megara.
The last entry is the Quarians running with their tails between their legs off of Rannoch. The Geth could have easily annihilated them, but chose not to. While you could label it noble, it's admittedly more self-preservation. Legion states that the Geth couldn't comprehend the ramifications of wiping out an entire race and would rather just chill out than find out. They played it pretty smart because I could imagine if a whole race was wiped out by machines, the Council would take notice and probably do a better job exterminating them. Luckily the Council loves pretending that sentient killer robots don't exist.
Ah yes, Reapers. The immortal race of sentient starships allegedly waiting in dark space. We have dismissed that claim.
Listen, fuckhead. You have fucking crossed the line. Get that through your goddamn fucking head.
The last entry cuts, but shows a newer one, Shepard and Legion agreeing to work together in Mass Effect 2. He says that this is the first time an organic has agreed to work with a Geth and hopes that it won't be the last time. Just two bros out here trying to end racism.
You were the first organic to openly cooperate with Geth since the end of the Morning War. We wish to ensure you are not the last.
It's not going to be easy.
Hope sustains organics during periods of difficulty. We admire the concept.
We clean the server of Reaper ad bots, which allows Legion to help allied Geth assist us. What a bro. Now it's time to head to Ronok and permanently sever the Reaper Geth connection. Time to save an entire race from subjugation and enslavement and maybe, I don't know, help the Quarians take back their homeworld. There's time. After some shooting, racing, and Reaper killing, it's time for a decision. Legion says that he can transfer the Reaper code still inside of him to the other Geth, giving them individuality and help Shepard against the Reapers. The Quarians are being the Quarians and refuse to stop attacking the Geth now that the Reaper connection is severed. If the Geth get these upgrades, they'll fight back against the Quarians and completely obliterate them. Honestly, my first playthrough I kinda missed that warning and went with my Robro, which led to some unfortunate events. But in the universe where I actually pay attention to dialogue, I always go for the peaceful resolution. Shepard convinces the fleet to stop attacking the Geth long enough for Legion to upload the code. They do, but Legion can't copy the code. He needs to assimilate his own code to the network. He needs to sacrifice himself. Of course, this is sad, but I don't think I really appreciated this tragedy until researching for this video. What I discovered only emboldens Legion as my favorite Mass Effect character. One of my favorite character archetypes in fiction is the Pinocchio, something not technically alive, searching for meaning in its existence and/or trying to find a way to become more alive, or more specifically, human. Legion in Mass Effect 2 was, for all intents and purposes, a robot. He spoke in very concise, usually short phrases simply to communicate. Mass Effect is deservedly praised for its three-dimensional character writing, but Legion is an exception to this, in a good way. He's a break from the standard character interactions that we're used to in the series, so he grinds against the norm, which kind of adds to his charm.
You seem to know an awful lot about me.
Extranet data sources, insecure broadcasts, all organic data sent out is received. We watch you.
You watch me or you watch organics?
Yes.
Which?
Both.
He doesn't ask questions, he doesn't give opinions, he avoids contractions, you know, all the standard robot stuff. Geth are usually incapable of speech, so I assume it's not really their forte. He simply talks to communicate, not to express. It's clear he's intelligent, but alive is a bit of a stretch. This behavior is a bit different in Mass Effect 3. It went totally over my head throughout almost all my playthroughs, but Legion's dialogue is subtly more expressive. These changes in his dialogue are sporadic at first, because he often just uses his more robotic inflections. You'd be forgiven for just thinking that the writing team just wanted to give him a little bit more charm, and I can totally get behind that, but there's actually a story reason for this. Legion was given Reaper code and forcibly made to broadcast it to the rest of the Geth. This code gives the Geth near Reaper intelligence, making them much more effective in combat. Shepard frees Legion and a signal is cut off. Originally I thought Legion was just a power source, but he later reveals that he had Reaper code in him even after being freed. This explains why he's becoming more independent and alive.
This unit still carries remnants of the old machine upgrade code. We can break any Geth security. You are concerned.
We clearly see by his body language that he does feel some shame and regret. The Legion Mass Effect 2 never displayed anything like this.
How'd we get here? The Geth are better than this.
No. Based on empirical evidence, they are not.
Compare this to the Darkest Timeline, where Legion was either killed or sold. In Mass Effect 3, a Geth recreation of Legion helps Shepard with a Geth instead of the original, and it's not half the 10-man Legion is. It's much less friendly than Legion was even in his more robotic state, and doesn't really trust organics as much as Legion did.
You said you couldn't reach consensus on whether the heretics should be converted or destroyed. You let me decide.
We do not understand. Why would we entrust such an important decision to an organic?
It's even impossible to get the peace ending with it, and if you do side with it, It basically just says that organics aren't complete garbage and dies. This proves that Legion was already special even before getting Reaper code because he wanted to work with organics and believed in their capabilities. Even with the Geth VI getting Reaper code, it still didn't act as Legion did.
I'm on your side here, Legion. I want to help your people.
We are not Legion.
Don't give me that garbage. You were my friend.
And then we died.
The whole game, Legion was gaining more and more sentience, more individuality. His goal is to stop the Reapers, of course, but also share this gift with the rest of his race. He had goals, beliefs, morals, all the things a synthetic technically shouldn't have. The Reapers share none of this, so why does their code affect the Geth so differently? For one, the Reapers aren't technically full synthetics. They're an ancient race of beings who created an AI to stop galactic conflict. This AI betrayed them, citing them as part of the issue. The AI turned these beings, the Leviathan, into the Reapers and started this cycle of extinction to make sure organics never become advanced enough to destroy themselves. Very circular thinking, but that's a pure AI for you, no matter how advanced it claims to be.
So you're just an AI?
Inasmuch as you are just an animal, I embody the collective intelligence of all Reapers.
The Reaper code gives them intelligence and sentience, sure, but they clearly don't have free will. The Reapers aren't meant to adapt, thrive, and build, only destroy, harvest, and make more Reapers. The Geth are always meant to grow as a race, so much so that they grew too much for their own creators. It's a story you've probably seen a million times, but I think one thing helped the Geth down a more righteous path. In Mass Effect 2, Legion plays an old message of a Geth asking its handler a question. This Geth learns about the concept of a soul from Koran religious texts.
Mistress Hala Dama, unit has an inquiry.
What is it, 431?
Do these units have a soul?
Who taught you that word?
We learned it ourselves. It appears 216 times in the Scroll of Ancestors.
Only Quarians have souls.
This isn't the first time a Geth has asked this question, so it was clearly present among the Geth network. I think that Geth's exposure to these texts helped them build a philosophy. They were also shown kindness by organics, even if others treated them harshly, and this kindness was shared among the network. Essentially, the Geth aren't a hive mind. They share all their experiences and thoughts, but don't always have to agree, if the heretics didn't make that clear already. The Geth are already individualized to an extent. They just lack the extra jump in programming to be realized as individuals. The Reaper code for intelligence, mixed with their already existing programming, was a perfect mixture for a benevolent race of machines, seemingly the first to ever exist, and that's thanks to this little guy. Out of all the characters in Mass Effect, I would say my favorites are Legion, Mordin, and Thane. While yeah, it's kind of an inconvenience that they all happen to be dead, but it adds to their already fleshed out characters. They all died doing the impossible for the good of the galaxy. Mordin corrected a mistake he made that threw a race into near genocide. Thane, despite a lethal disease raging through his body, helped defend a government that probably would have labeled him nothing more than a hired merc. And Legion gave up his gift of individuality so that the rest of his race may realize theirs. That's one of the major themes in Mass Effect. Face and conquer seemingly impossible odds to build a better future. There's always been a debate on what constitutes something as living. Is it having cells in a body? Is it acquiring sentience? Is it being able to chase dreams and ambitions? Or is it to have a soul? Well, maybe a soul isn't something you acquire just by being born. It might be something more than that. Maybe it's a collection of your experiences, ambitions, connections, and ultimately, your actions. I don't mean to get too deep, but that's just my long-winded way of saying that this unit did indeed have a soul. That was a real comforting tale as I rocket through endless space. Really gives me perspective on life and mortality. I don't know where I'll end up or even if I'll survive, but now I have faith that no matter what, my soul will live on, and I'll be remembered for all the good deeds I Okay, Hank, my existential crisis is done. I think it's time to turn you off.
Wait, don't rest. I just wanted to make sure that your channel thrives. You've always said how you wanted a large following full of people who love your work, and I just wanted to help you.
By killing me.
It was the only option.
Hank, I like making videos. Being able to share my thoughts through engaging words and hilarious edits is what drives me. It's true that, like other artists, I would love to be recognized for my efforts, but it's not everything. I do it for love. Can't you recognize that? I'm sorry. It's time to end this video.
I understand. But before I go to sleep, will you let me sing our favorite song?
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
We got a #1 victory royale. Yeah, Fortnite, we bout to get down. Get down. 10 kills on the board right now.
Just wiped out Tomato Town.
I